Hello everyone, welcome to this thoughts video, overview video, whatever you want to call it, on the Lenovo Legion Go. I've had my unit now for a few days, and this is actually the third video that I've made, but I haven't posted any of them. And the reason for that is because my opinion just kind of keeps changing the more I use it. Initially I was disappointed, and I thought that it was very uncomfortable to hold. And I still don't think it's the most comfortable device I've ever had, for sure, not even close. But I will say that I'm getting more used to it. And the more used to it I get, the less uncomfortable it is. You definitely don't hold this console the same way you would the Steam Deck or even a Switch because of these sharp corners. They start to hurt pretty quickly, at least my hands. So you kind of have to learn how to hold this thing. You almost really just kind of, instead of gripping it, you just kind of let it sit in your hands loosely. And if I do that, it feels a lot better. But if I'm being honest with you, and I'm sorry about the reflection, but this screen is very reflective, so just keep that in mind. I've used this device more in like this tablet setup or tabletop setup. You know, last night I sat there on my kitchen table because I just wanted to go through a complete battery. And I was playing Dragon Ball Kakarot, and the battery lasted over 2 hours at the 1200p setting. And this is how I played it, just like this. And it was incredibly comfortable. You know, like there's no gripping, so these parts don't go into your, to your hands at all when you play like that. But of course, the problem would be is, do you always have a table to set it on? And that's obviously a no. You won't always have a table to set it on. So, it's one of those things where you got to get used to it. If someone sells a good grip for it that maybe rounds off these, I would probably buy it. I don't typically buy grips. I did for like my Switch Lite, but that's about it. But for example, like the actual Nintendo Switch, I just bought different Joy-Cons, and I don't even use the first party Joy-Cons most of the time. So I could see myself doing something like that. Here's Miles Morales playing through the Epic Game Store. And I have a lot of games on the Epic Game Store, mostly free ones, but I have actually purchased some too, like this one. And that's one of the reasons why, I have a Steam Deck. And you can play non-Steam games on the Steam Deck. But it's always a complication. It's one more step you got to go through. Well, it's actually a couple more steps you got to go through, right? I like the fact that with this, you don't have to. And that's going to be any Windows, laptop, handheld, whatever. But yeah, the size of this, the way it feels, it's just, so far it's been a pretty good experience for me overall. Oh man, I'm getting my butt kicked. I haven't actually played this game in a long time, as you can see. I did just recently play Spider-Man 2 on the PS5, but yeah, this is not that game. And I'm not quite used to these controls yet. You can kind of see right now, actually, I'm not even using the tabletop part. It's down, right? But I'm actually still holding it. And it's pretty comfortable. So let's just play through this real fast. Now I am playing in the balanced preset using efficient on the thermal OS, I think is what it's called. But I'm using the 15 watt TDP. I've only used the performance one a couple times, and so far I haven't needed to, but you did see a slowdown right there. For the most part, especially in handheld mode, this is going to be just fine. And you're seeing my lack of skills here. Like I said, I haven't really played this much. Not this game. I just started to back out for this for testing purposes. As far as thoughts go, this is not a review video. There's a lot of videos that are running benchmarks, and those benchmarks are going to change because we're still not even running new drivers for this. And most of those benchmarks are comparing it to the Steam Deck, and they're comparing it to the Asus ROG Ally. And I would say you should expect this to run about the same as the Asus ROG Ally. Maybe slightly faster once we get better drivers because the RAM being faster. But you are pushing a different resolution and you're pushing a different screen and all that. So there should be a little bit of difference, but not enough to really speak of. So I would say whatever you expect the Ally to do, expect this to do. And that's if you go in with those expectations, then I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed. The controllers come off, right? Like a Joy-Con. And the way you do that is there's these two little buttons on the back that are right here and here. You just kind of push them in and slide it off. So let me do that with it facing the other direction because that feels most natural. You just kind of slide it down and it automatically pairs the second you do it. So it's not, there's no kind of waiting, there's no gap. That's just, it just picks up, it knows what you're doing. That's cool. As far as using these in that method, you can definitely do that, and it feels pretty okay. I've done this a little bit, but not as much as other people say they have if you watch other videos. These things are light, they work. They're actually more comfortable this way because you're not gripping, you're not holding up the device, which is the main weight. These things are incredibly light. You'd actually be surprised how light these things are. And I don't think you'd have those same problems with these things digging into your palms when you're in this mode. As far as the FPS mode goes, man, I've tried this thing and I do not enjoy it, but there's a switch here on the bottom. You switch from FPS and then you stick this in here, not like that, like this, and this now becomes your mouse and this becomes your keyboard, and this this feels bizarre, right? Like, it, to me, this does not feel good. Now, this is not the game that it's designed for, right? But it gives you an idea. You could use this theoretically for any game, but I feel like if you use a keyboard and a mouse, swapping over to this is just going to feel bizarre. And if you use a controller like I do, primarily for everything, I mean, why would you ever want to swap to that? So I would say just keep that in mind. Don't buy this for FPS mode. I think it's a cool idea. And maybe if somebody really wants to power through it, they can learn it and probably be really efficient at it. Going to drop into Fortnite just so we can see some gameplay. We are using the recommended settings at the resolution that I have picked. So I'm at the 1920 by 1200, and then these settings are just picked directly by the system. So if you want to just look to see what I'm running. And again, I'm running on the balance preset, and of course we're on battery. So again, the strange thing, Fortnite always lags here for some reason for me, no matter what device I'm playing on. I guess there's just a lot of things loading in. But the strangest thing about the controller is the battery. The strangest thing about these are the placement of these buttons. So this will actually bring up your performance tab if it comes up. It doesn't always come up in game, okay, but it did there. And you can see everything that I'm running. And again, we're running, the thermal mode is balance, the power mode is efficiency. There's no real difference if you pick any of the rest of these, so just save yourself a little bit of battery and do efficiency. And then we'll just close that out. So you're used to the start and select type buttons being there, right? And they're just not there currently. And that makes it a little bit bizarre, but doesn't make it unplayable by any stretch. All right, now I've confused this though, so let's... all right, see, look, I had this happen the other day where I confused the software because I, touched it and then untouched it back and forth. So let's see if we can get it reconnected again. But this is a real problem. It happened the other day, right? Right now, the right stick is literally doing nothing. And now it thinks I'm back on a mouse. See, so let's change that back. I don't know. Maybe it'll work itself out. Maybe it won't. I don't really know. Okay, looks like we're back. Maybe. Nope, we are not. All right, let's just see what happens. We're going to land, and maybe the controller will decide to go back to the proper mode. But this is not the first time that's happened. It's actually only the second time it's happened, but it has happened before. Let's see if it kicks in once we land. No. So right now I'm stuck looking at... No, everything else is working, right? Everything else is working. Let's touch the screen, see if maybe we can... Okay, there we go. Touching the screen brought it back. I don't think that's the way it should be. Oh, wow, I'm already being shot at, and I just landed. And I am not ready for this because I'm a little... Okay, it's a good thing this person can't shoot, though. That's my biggest... Apparently I can't shoot either, though. The other thing is that the dead zones for this are pretty existent. And I'm out of ammo. All right, let's just run away like a coward and see what happens here. I'm just going to jump so they keep on missing. See if I can find a weapon and actually take him down. So if you watch the controller, you'll see the dead zones are not amazing. And it does make it harder for games like this. And I would imagine there's a way to change that in the settings. But if there is, I haven't figured it out. So let's just get past this guy. This is like an embarrassing way to play. Alright, luckily this guy does not know what he's doing, or else I would be very dead by now. I'm out of ammo with that one now. And now with that one. Alright, now let's just leave this guy. Anyway, this is Fortnite. And as you can see, it technically runs and plays fine on the balance setting at the 1200 P resolution. Originally I was playing at 800, and that actually plays a little bit smoother at this balance preset. But this looks a lot better, so I'm just taking the trade-off. I do think this could be a very versatile device if somebody wanted to use this as a Windows tablet. There's, you know, this massive screen that comes off. You could definitely use that as a Windows tablet as well. Doesn't have to be just a gaming computer. You do have options, and options are good. The software is still not there, but there's not really any updates. I mean, there has been, I think, 2 updates since this came out. But, you know, 2 updates in the grand scheme of things is nothing. Think about how many updates the Steam Deck's had, or even the Ally in the last 4 months. You know, those devices don't even seem to be the same as they were when they came out. Especially the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck when it came out versus now. I mean, that device is so different. If you were to go back to day one, which I had one day one, I was on that first pre-order list. And I actually sold my Steam Deck initially because after about the first month, I was like, all right, I'm not really going to use this. And with the software limitations, you know, like games like Fortnite or COD or, you know, PUBG not running, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to return it. And well, I didn't return it, but I sold it. At the time, I sold it for more than I paid for it because they were still hard to get. So it definitely wasn't a bad deal for me. But, you know, I have since then bought another Steam Deck. I bought the 512 version, and I've enjoyed that a lot. The question will be is, if I keep this device, will I still want to use the Steam Deck? And I don't know. I feel like this, if I can get used to the way it feels, and if the software can catch up, I mean, this could end up being my main gaming device. So just some final thoughts before I get off. I think that this device has a ton of potential if Lenovo properly supports it, right? Since this thing has detachable controllers, they could easily fix this odd, sharp choice here. If they were just to round that off, this thing would feel so much better. Like, even if it just rounded off and didn't quite hit the bottom of it, like, I would be okay with that. Again, if there's a good case that comes out that rounds it off and makes it a little bit more comfortable, I'll buy that 100%. Or if they release a controller set that doesn't have all these extra buttons on the sides, because I'm never going to use that stuff. And if they were to swap out these buttons, that would be great. The software is there and it works, but it's not amazing. You do have options and things like that. You do have this other side as well, I can't say this word, the Lenovo Legion Space, I think is what it's called. I'm not really sure why it's loading so slow here. It hasn't done that before, but you do have your menu in here, which gives you the opportunity to do some things. I also think the potential is there for this to be for people that don't know they even want it. Like, let's say they want to do some light gaming, like they do like to game, but they also need something for just general use. This screen is big enough and good enough, especially with that back kickstand, that you could use this as just an everyday device, for Windows. And especially if you just had yourself a little keyboard, if someone were to release a keyboard, because you do have the two USB spots, you have the one USB 4, USB-C, whatever you want to call it. You have the one up top, which really is the only one I use, and you also have one down bottom here. If someone were to release a keyboard for that, I mean, you would have a fully functioning, Windows PC, laptop, Surface type design, and you would still have these full controllers for when you want a game. And that alone might make it worth it to people that, want both. They need something to work on, they can take with them, but they also need something they can game on. This might fit that bill even more so than a laptop. Other than that, I mean, so far it's been okay. It's not going to blow your mind, because at the end of the day, it is a Windows PC. So as long as you go into it knowing that it's a Windows PC, I think you'll be fine. You can see it holds a lot of smudges, but what device doesn't, I guess? And yeah, those are my thoughts. So leave any comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If there's particular games I may have, I can try for you. Like and subscribe. That really helps the channel. I'm getting close to 500, and I'm ready to hit that number. I'm 12 subscribers away. So thank you for watching. You guys enjoy your day.